Hello Cancer, great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Cancer. See what the cards have in store for you. Okay, so the first one I have out here is the Hierophant, the Four of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, whoa, Ten of Wands, the Lovers, the Ten of Swords, okay, the High Priestess, Page of Cups, the Justice card, and the Strength card. Okay, so we have 5 major arcana cards. So this is going to be a bit of a heavy hitter type of month, okay? And let's talk about the first 2 cards because they are echoing the same, very, very similar themes actually. I feel that in general with the Hierophant card, it indicates family structure, institutions, and especially a marriage type of relationship, okay? So that's the first card coming in, as well as the Justice card coming in the first row. It indicates to me just a lot of you might be actually at the end of a relationship where you are considering, separating from one another, going your separate ways, dividing up assets and things like that. Okay, so this is, for a lot of you, this is the main energy that you're going to be dealing with for January. I do feel that the Justice card here does indicate legal contracts and things like that as well. And it's in the upright position, indicating to me that you're not going to have too much trouble with it. You're not going to have troubles. So it's relatively good, and things are going to be resolved in a way that is favorable to you. So not to worry, okay? I also feel as well with the Hierophant card, next to the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a stable foundation, especially on the home front. A lot of you that might have ended very significant relationships in your life, you're thinking about moving home. You're thinking about possibly, it can also indicate signing new contracts for a new home environment, for a new office environment, renting out a new space. But I definitely see some movement in and out of the home. People might be leaving the home, or you are going to be finding a new place of dwelling, of living. So that's the first 2 energies coming through. I do feel for the first 2 weeks of this month, you are inundated with a lot of responsibilities, okay? And I do feel greatly, this is a card about picking up whatever, all your responsibilities, all the things that you have in your life, physical items or otherwise, moving from one place to the next. So I definitely feel that for a lot of you, the financial situation itself, while it looks very, very stable, a lot of you are coming into a new source of income. This can be a new income stream, revenue stream in terms of a new work environment. But whatever is coming in, I do feel that it is almost leaving just as fast, mainly because of the legal contracts that you're dealing with, okay? So for example, if you are in the process of separating or divorcing and things like that, I do sense that your money is being halved, in that whatever you're making, you're kind of there are a lot of responsibilities for you to take care of. There are a lot of expenditures, so your money is coming in quickly, but it is also leaving your hands. Okay, so just I don't feel it's going to be a big problem. This is something that a lot of you have anticipated, and it's not coming to me as a surprise for a lot of you. So this is just something that you're going to be grappling at. This is an adjustment on the financial front, on the family front, and also on the living arrangement front that you're going to have to take heed of, okay? I do feel there is a lump sum of money that needs to be paid out, either to procure a contract. It can be a down payment for a new place, or it can be, money that is used to cover court fees, or even money that is used to hire legal counsel, for example, related to court fees and related to paperwork. So there's definitely money coming in, money coming out. And I do sense that financially you're going to be okay. So not to worry. It's just a lot of things coming in at once, a lot of responsibilities that you have to take care of. So manage your finances very, very stringently for the first 2 weeks, at least the first 2 weeks of this month, all right? The other thing that I do want to talk about is that for a lot of you, it is a very relationship-oriented type of month. And one of the reasons why I say this is I'm sensing there is, in the time of Pisces, this is the Pisces card. In the time of Pisces, something is going to, there's going to be that, glimmer of hope, that breakthrough. So I definitely feel that whatever obligations you are going to have to take care of, or whatever legal issue that is going on right now, even the housing situation, just bear with it. You're in a new phase in your life, and you actually have a lot of stability around you. And the stability is kind of keeping you in one place rather than propelling you forward. And I do that feel that that forward movement energy is going to be coming in for the next water sign, which is going to be Pisces here. Also, let's look at these cards in conjunction to one another. Now, this in tandem, they tend to be, this is a very relationship-oriented two cards. And next to one another, it can be a very emotionally taxing time, okay? This deals with, first of all, a breakdown in a significant relationship. So if I feel for a lot of you, this can be a spouse that you're dealing with, or it can be like somebody that you're living with. You might be romantically involved with one another, and you might even live together. And their absence or presence, or your absence, or just them coming in and out of your life, it has been a very emotional roller coaster. And as a result of it, you are deciding this month that maybe things are not worth it and maybe you should go your separate ways. So that's the first thing coming through for a lot of you. And this is just, energies that you're dealing with. And then when it comes to having, joint finances, and especially having children together with the other person, there's going to be a lot of responsibilities that you have to take care of, driving the child back and forth, shifting between two homes, and you're starting to feel that it's taking a toll on the child involved in the picture. So it's also taking quite an emotional toll on you, and you're just, trying to find a way to cope with this by the last week of the month. So I apologize for the energy that you're going to have to deal with for a lot of you Cancers, but this is something coming through mainly because I feel that the status quo is not acceptable, and it's forcing you to re-examine things and to make some drastic changes in your life, okay? A lot of you are have been in relationships, and especially long-standing relationships or even marriage relationships, where you are trying your hardest to hold on to that relationship, and you're trying to do things very much by the book. You're trying to hang on to tradition and order and institutions, and you are trying to, you could be very miserable in a relationship, especially a marriage, and you're refusing to leave it. Either that or the other person is refusing to budge, and the both of you know that the partnership is not really working, but no one is really giving the other person an out, or no one is really making up their mind to file for divorce or to file for separation. So as a result of it, the home environment itself, it seems very rigid, and it seems just as if there's a lot of stagnancy when it comes to love relationships, especially for those that are, coupled up, where the passion might be gone from the relationship, or there might be, a lot of financial issues affecting the love relationship itself. So this is something that you want to take keep in mind. For those of you who are single, I definitely feel that relationship for this month is not going to be, um, I don't sense that they're going to be solidified. That means that even if you're dating and things like that, it's better to wait until the next water sign, or especially in February, once Mercury is out of retrograde period, for you to make major decisions on the romantic front. Okay, because I do feel that if decisions are made now, they will have to be gone back to later, because I feel some disturbances that is not going to allow you to form right decisions when it comes to the emotional front. Okay, on a practical everyday level, you're handling responsibilities. You have a lot on your plate and like loose ends that you need to tie up. So I do feel that on the emotional front, delay emotional decisions for the rest of this month, because you're not going to be operating at your best in order to make the right decisions that will allow you the freedom of movement on the emotional front. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm also sensing that it is really important for you, and I've been sensing this for quite some time with you Cancers. When it comes to your financial situation, a lot of you have this innate fear about a financial lack. Okay, it seems to me months after months that your financial situation actually looks very stable. You can live comfortably and you can live within your means, but you're trying to build that nest egg, and you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself in order to achieve financial stability. What appears to everyone around you is that you have the financial stability, but to you, you want more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more, but you're placing a lot of emphasis on going out, achieving things, and there's a lot of stress and strain and pressure upon you. And this is the month in which you might be feeling that pressure, and things are starting to crack. Okay, that nice veneer, that calm energy, or that calm way in which you're kind of going through life and placing a lot of restrictions and responsibilities on yourself in order to achieve the financial stability, you're starting to crack under the pressure. So it would be in your best interest right now for this month to get some perspective when it comes to what's important in life. Okay, for a lot of you, there might have been relationships where you feel as if it's not stable, mainly because you don't have the financial base, when in fact you do have the stability. And you also have to understand that your partner also has to come in with their own financial resources. For those of you who are dating as well, it's just that dating, relationships, and love partnerships are kind of put on the back burner, because we do have the Lovers in the reverse here. The relationships, the emotional aspect of the relationships are kind of swept under the rug, and problems are not addressed on the emotional front, mainly because you're preoccupied with your earning potential. Okay, so make sure you're able to achieve balance, because I do feel that things that have been built on faulty footing are starting to crack. All right. So that's the strong message I'm getting here for you. And I do feel that this is going to be the main major thing that you are dealing with for this month. I also feel as well, there is a person coming through, somebody who is, I feel for a lot of you, there is a new, possibly an earth sign. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. But I'm reading this more of an energy. Okay, this is a job proposal. And so let's talk about the work front first. So for those of you who are thinking about a new work situation, there is a proposal that is bringing you a lot of abilities. So up front that the work itself is very, for some reason, I feel like it's very physically taxing. And on an intuitive level that is not going to make you happy. and you know that you deserve a higher salary. So if you were to go into that job, you know that you're not going to, you know right off the bat that it's not going to bring you that emotional satisfaction to begin with. However, you might feel like, I'll just do it. So the point here is know what it is that you're worth. And if that offer is there and you're in a position where you can negotiate your salary, whatever it is that you're being compensated, then you definitely need to fight for it, okay? Don't be complacent for this month. Figure out what it is that you're willing to live or not live with, and figure out what it is that you feel that you're worth, and then fight for it, especially on the financial front, so that you can have, it's sort of like if you go to work and you're working, you know, you're so exhausted and you're being overworked, and the money is not worthwhile, you're going to start to resent your job. So make sure that, you know, just for your mental health, if there's a job coming in that you anticipate is going to be very physically taxing, at the same time is not bringing you that emotional fulfillment, either A, decline the job outright and find something else that is more in balance with your own needs and your own strength, or you can negotiate for a higher salary so that you're happy, so that at least financially you're stable, and then you don't become resentful. Okay, so this isn't a month to be passive aggressive. This is a month to be aggressive and to really tap into that inner strength that you have and be bold and to demand what it is that you feel you deserve. Okay, so Cancers, this is a month for you to kind of break out of your shell a little bit. I'm going to say this, and I feel that this is an ongoing pattern that I've been seeing for quite some months. So I'm just going to say that, you know, out of all the water signs, you and Scorpios you have you have almost like divine protection. Because if you look at Cancers, it's representative of the crab, and the crabs, you know, have hard shells, okay, kind of like the turtles. Crabs have hard shell. And whenever you feel threatened, you can always recoil and, you know, avert danger. So keep that in mind, okay? So it is really important for you to know that, keep that in mind, and just know that harm is not going to come your way. That doesn't mean, you know, going out taking foolish risks. It means trusting your intuition, not being scared, and, you know, learning to stand up for yourself as well, okay? The thing about Scorpios is that they have the stinger and they can defend themselves. Um, Cancers tend to just retreat within themselves, and they don't often address issues when they come up. So one of the things that I'm going to say is this is a month for you to get to the root of the problems, address issues. If you want your relationships to be a certain way, demand it and figure out what it is that has been lacking, or figure out, you know, balance is definitely going to be required of you in your relationships. So one person cannot do all the work and the other person can just sit on the sideline and smile at life, okay? So it can come in the reverse way as well. If one person in the relationship, and especially if you are in a relationship with an earth sign, I do sense that you're going to have, and the other person has been doing everything pretty much. There's some type of a karmic rebalancing of the karmic scale coming in here, where it's not viable anymore for one person to do all the work. So there's definitely a divine timing where the balancing of the scales need to be made. Otherwise, the relationship cannot continue further, okay? This can play out in the work front, in the work environment as well. And whatever work that you're putting in, make sure that just make sure you're doing what you're supposed to take care of responsibilities, and make sure you don't overexert yourself when the other person is not reciprocating. Make sure that on the work environment, you're being fairly compensated for all the hard work, all the energy, all the stamina, everything that you feel like. This is the month in which all the work culminates, and you have to take care of things all at once. It's sort of like that final phase before the major harvest. So this is a really busy energy. It's a busy month. There are a lot of things popping up, but I do feel that in the midst of it all, you are pretty level-headed. And I feel that, with a lot of water signs in general, I feel that you're good in a crisis. Especially Cancers and Scorpios, you know how to disseminate information in a way that it doesn't emotionally rattle you. So this is the month for you to tap into that, very keen sense of working well in an emergency, knowing how to triage, knowing how to take care of the important things first, and letting everything else kind of take the back burner. But this is also a good month for you all to examine problems, things that you have swept under the rug, and bringing them to light so that you can deal with them, okay? So face your fears head on, knowing that you are on the right track and that you are going to have protection. Okay, that is going to be extremely vital for you to keep in mind for this month. At the same time, I do sense that for those of you who are thinking about possibly moving in with another person, and if this is a decision that was made, that is going to be fine. If it is a decision that is made for this month about moving in with another person, I would urge you to hold off on it, okay? Because I don't feel that it's going to be fruitful. I also feel that if you are thinking about partnering up with another person for a income generating project, and you're thinking about doing it this month. So if the idea came up this month, I do sense that the other person is going to take you for granted, and I would advise you not to do it, mainly because I do feel a very one-sided energy in which you're doing all the work, you're doing everything. And when the payout comes, they're getting, half of the earnings. So I do feel that, you want to be very level-headed about this. Make sure that you don't get swindled, okay? And I feel that you're very sensitive when it comes to, someone taking advantage of you as well. But you don't speak out against it. You just hold it in, and then you become resentful, and then the relationship goes sour. So that's something to keep in mind. Voice your opinion, get your points across so that you don't harbor resentment.